All right, and we are live streaming to Facebook, YouTube,
Twitch.
And Twitch.
Yeah.
I'm on Twitch. All right, hey guys, welcome back. Episode 29, Power Thought. Today I have a friend of mine, former teammate, Rob O'Neill.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no,
appreciate it.
Always. Author of The Operator, which is a great book. It's funny. You serve with a bunch of guys in the military, and you forget how diverse our individual backgrounds are, right?
Yes.
So I'm like, oh, okay, here's another SEAL book. And I'm like reading your book. I'm like, son of a bitch. Like, this is a guy who's got a really cool story.
Isn't it funny, though, out of all the SEAL books, we've all been through the same training, but no story is the same. We all find different nonsense that happens.
Angles, backgrounds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But the book is The Operator, firing the shots that killed Osama Bin Laden, and my years as a SEAL team warrior. You can follow robertjoneil.com, at Makuya. That's spelled Mike Charlie Hotel, Oscar Yankee Alpha Hotel. And then your charity is
yourgratefulnation.org.
Yeah.
And that's the one we help special operators transition into the private sector from the military.
Yeah, which is much needed.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
We can talk about that as well on the show. So, dude, stoked to have you on the
Thank you for having me
Power
back.
Thought.
Great.
Yeah, this is my podcast where I just dig in and we try and feature just a broad range of diverse guests. Like we were talking over the show. Rick Unger, CEO of Marvel Group, had John King, the founder of Chunking Studios. Just like he was telling us a story. I forget what was the rapper's name, Ian, that pissed on the LL Cool J.
ODB from Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
Oh, Dirty Bastard?
Yeah. He was supposed to, LL Cool J is supposed to come into John's studio and he flaked, and this guy just pulled down his platinum record, stomped it, and is pissed all over it.
Okay, that's next level right there.
Next level shit. On that note, I would love to just dig into
Let's do it.
Your story of origin, right? So just dive in and tell us about how did you go from young kid in Montana to the guy who shot Bin Laden?
I named the book The Operator because I'm not calling myself the operator. I'm telling a story about the life of the operator.
Yeah.
And like you said, Brandon, we all come from different places. One of the big things I tell people in life is that your perfect plan's never going to work. Life is what happens around you. I was never going to join the military. I love the military. I love movies, Full Metal Jacket. I love Charlie Sheen and Navy SEALs. Great movie. I was never going to do that. That
poor Charlie.
He's funny, man. He's one in a million.
Yeah.
But I grew up playing basketball with my father, and little things like we can't leave the gym till one of us makes 20 free throws in a row. He still does that. He's 67 years old. He'll go to the gym by himself, won't leave until he makes 20 jump shots in a row, which is impressive. But I was going to play basketball to the point of where I got a scholarship to pay for college, work with my dad. That was the plan.
And what does your dad do?
He's retired now. He actually works with me. He helps with
Nice.
He's actually got a business card.
I've seen some of your Instagram posts with him.
Oh, he's awesome. And when he started working with me, he was so funny because he said a lot of these millennials out there, they need a title. So he goes, "What's my title? Can I get a business card?" I'm like, "Dad, just make one up. I don't care." So his title is the executive vice president in charge of handling shit. That's what he does.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, I was going
to much needed these days.
Oh, it is. Just have someone that handles your shit.
Yeah.
But he and I were going to work together, and I had my heart broken by a girl, and I decided I need to get out of Butte, Montana. I'm going to join the Marine Corps, and that's it. And I went to join the Marine Corps. Dude,
that is the classic. Why you joined the military?
It is.
Story.
So many people,
Girlfriend,
all volunteer military, are there because they got dumped.
Yeah.
And I went to join the Marine Corps, and again, that was just the instant plan. But the Marine recruiter wasn't there. The Navy guy was, and he just yelled out, "Hey, what you doing?" I said, "I want to be a sniper." And I want to join the Marine Corps because they're the best in the world. And he said, "Oh, get in here. Look no further because we have snipers in the in the Navy." And he really said, "You got to become a Navy SEAL first." Kind of brushed that off and said, "But then we'll send you to sniper school." And I was looking at this guy. Had I known then what I know now, he's wearing khakis. He's got anchors.
Yeah,
this guy's clever. He's a chief, obviously.
He knows what he's doing.
And I remember thinking, well, he is a recruiter, but so why is he going to lie to me? So he talked me into joining the Navy to be a SEAL, not knowing how to swim from Butte, Montana. So we signed it. Then we saw some of the videos, and I'm like, okay, all right, he got me.
Yeah.
But then, trying to be positive, I'm like, okay, I get to go to San Diego, which is cool. I'll try this hard training. I probably won't make it, but then I'll go to the fleet and have some cool sea stories when I come back home to Butte, Montana, sit at Maloney's Pub and just tell people about it.
Yeah.
That's it. So I went there. I learned how to swim in 5 months.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Which actually might be one of those things where it's almost better, like kind of like in close quarters battle training. See, if you could be training, if you don't have any bad mistakes, you'll just learn. So they taught me kick, stroke, glide. So we started passing the test. And then it got to the point where I heard from some of my buddies that had buddies that were SEALs that said, don't make any friends till Wednesday morning of Hell Week, because after that, they'll probably all make it. So then we make it through that, and then you hear about pool comp, make it through that, and then all of a sudden you graduate, and you're like, shit, now I need to be a Navy SEAL. And then my plan was the 4 years, but then I met the guys, 23 years old, when it's time to get out, and I'm like, well, I can't leave now. I'll just re-enlist.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't, even in the military, don't understand, like, the reason that people, outsiders, look at the SEAL BUDS training and go, wow, it is the hardest in the world, because the selection process just to get to one day. Yeah, to one day where you're learning about being a real SEAL is about 7 months when you add the pre-training of hell, as opposed to 7 months compared to like a couple weeks in the Army. I mean, even the Rangers have a tough selection process, but even that is like, I think 4 weeks.
I think it's 57 days, something like that.
Yeah, something like
Still,
that.
Still, nothing but love for Rangers.
I mean, Rangers are awesome.
Yeah.
But
when you really need something destroyed, then you'll be good.
Exactly.
You'll
want stuff broken. But yeah, it's just, I think people just don't realize it. And then it's another probably 2 years. And then guys still...
It's a constant learning process, too. And what's unique, though, the point that... I give speeches every day. I've given 3 already this week in 3 different cities. The point that I make is, with the attrition rate of BUDS, but also from where you come, it doesn't matter what you look like or what color your skin is.
Yeah.
The system's going to work, and we're going to get rid of 85% of you.
Yeah.
But if you stay positive and go meal to meal instead of, okay, first phase to graduation, just get to lunch, and then and some of the best advice I ever got, because, BUDS is obviously evolution 1 foot at a time.
And for the uninitiated, basic underwater
demolition SEAL training. Yeah. But what I had an instructor once tell me, and this is part of the speech that I give, is I like to separate emotion from the decision-making process. One instructor told me is, when you feel like quitting, which you will, just don't quit now. That's emotion. Quit tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you won't quit tomorrow. I'll just quit tomorrow. And that's, take the negative, put it into positive.
Yeah, and that's a life lesson I've talked about on the show before. It's like when things you just get so overwhelmed. Sometimes you just have to take it day to day, meal by meal. Go get a workout in. Just take it.
The realization chunks. Too is that, and you're going to fall down. You're going to have bad days.
Yeah.
You're not having a bad life. You're having a bad day. And believe it or not, time will heal everything. Just take that step back, take a wrap off, and realize what's important.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, they fantasize about these successful people, and they think that there's living these great lives, and even the president has to put his pants on and go to the bathroom like the rest of us. And believe me, this president probably had a lot of bad days. It's just part of life.
Do you think he reads the Twitter comments? I doubt he does, but do you think he does?
I think he probably reads some. And here's why: because the platform I'm mostly on, Instagram, I read most of that.
I know
stuff.
I do too, and I shouldn't.
Yeah, and sometimes I tune it out, but I curate that environment. If you're an asshole on my Instagram or social media, you're gone.
See, I don't give them that. I won't, and I don't block anyone on Twitter. I will erase the negative comments because.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind criticism.
There's a huge difference between criticism.
Yeah, you're being a dick and like, if it's like the dick. Radar.
And what's
weird
is
blip on the dick radar.
What's weird is they can, when they're behind a keyboard, not in front of you, they can get brutal and tough.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a lot of 6'12", 300-pound guys that hate my guts.
Yeah. The keyboard commandos, we spend all day.
It is always nice though hearing from a legitimate vet that's from combat. You can tell, and just says, fuck those guys. Don't worry about them. It is always nice getting a little bit of support from the vets.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, all right, you're in BUDS.
Yep.
You graduate with class
208.
208. Mm-hmm. All right.
The last hard class is what I heard.
So, I had the easiest class, 215.
That is funny how the older guys always say that. Well, I was a 206, the last hard class.
You know what's funny is I think of the last year I was at the sniper course because I had been through the high risk indoc. The center, at the time the program was under the center, they said, "Hey, who's going to help us with Hell Week? We need volunteers." So, I'll do a Hell Week. And I thought to myself in the back of my head, I'm like, oh man, this is class, whatever, 230 something. these guys are going to have it easy.
No.
Just working that 8-hour shift for a week. I did, what did I do? 4 to midnight. And I was smoked, man. And I was like,
And
I can't believe I did this shit.
And they're doing it around the clock. That's something. Yeah, the Hell Week is one of those things. Well, people ask me now, could you do it now? I'm like, fuck no, I wouldn't even attempt it.
You're just not in a state of mind.
And that's a state of mind too.
Yeah, and that's like, you probably have the friends that are like, hey man, Rob, you want to go do a Spartan race? You're like, no, not so much.
I've had offers for television shows. Hey, you want to go out here? And no, I'm good.
Yeah, if you have I did Spartan race for a job for like almost
it's
10
even
years.
To the point I don't even need to go camping anymore because I'm good. I'll get a hotel.
Sleep in a nice bed.
You know what's funny too, though, about talking about the last hard class and other SEALs and whatever. This is kind of going off the subject, but there are fakes out there, stolen valor and all that stuff. And Navy SEALs, when we talk to each other, we can tell within seconds if you're lying. I had a guy in Montana.
Had a guy the other day.
He's in Butte, Montana, and his first name was Marshall. And he met my sister at college, and he said, I was a Navy SEAL. And she goes, oh, my brother's a Navy SEAL. And he's like, oh, well, I can't wait to meet. And I'm like, well, I want to meet this guy too.
Yeah.
So we met at the bar that I mentioned, Maloney's in Butte, Montana. And it was so fast. He goes, I heard you're a SEAL. I was like, I heard you're a SEAL. What class were you? I said, 208. What? He goes, 162 or 161. And I said, Scott Neal was in 161. You know him? And he goes, yeah, we were in the Goon Squad together. I'm like, nah, you're legit.
Okay, there you go. Instantly.
That's like Goon Squad.
Goon Squad. Instant bona fides. Yeah, I love it's like the 50-year-old SEAL. Like, yeah, I was in class 189. No, you weren't. Vietnam. I was in Vietnam. When they're like, okay.
Well, you know what? I was a young cocky kid, just out of 208 at SEAL Team 2, and at the reunion. I mentioned this in my book, and I ran into a guy in his 70s, and he said, I said, well, you're a Navy SEAL. When did you go through Hell Week? And he said, June 6, 1944. And I said, there was no Hell Week. And he goes, well, that was Normandy, son. Know your heritage. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I feel like an idiot.
Whoops, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The invasion of France. Gotcha.
Yeah. So one of the things I want to ask later, like biggest challenge, but it sounds like, for people listening to this show, here's a guy that didn't even know how to swim, but learn how to swim in SEAL training. Yeah. Like probably what would you say that was your biggest challenge going through the SEAL course?
What I assumed going in was that I'm not going to quit. I'm going to fail a swim eventually. Because, and even when I got there, I was doing the first phase times in a minute to spare. And now they're going to drop by a few minutes. And then, and I stayed with it. And it was good. But some of the stuff, and again, there are instructors. SEAL instructors are the scariest people in the world, but they will give you good advice.
Yeah.
And one of the guys told me right before Hell Week, said, you're about to go to war for the first time, and the enemy's all your doubts, all your fears, and everyone you know back home that told you you're not good enough to do this. So think of them when you're just put out.
It's that
self-talk. It's the mindset. It is the mindset. And because I've never seen anybody, even especially in SEAL training, say, well, my mind quit, but my body pulled it through. No, if your mind goes, you lose it. Your body will follow you, though, if you can. So, yeah, but just the positive attitude. And then finding different ways to not ring the bell. Like the whole thing with my father's name is on the helmet. I'm not going to put my dad's name in a quitter's line. The guys that told me, I was working in a mine in Montana. Oh, you're going to be a SEAL? No way, because you can't. It's like, no, you just think of them. And
I had the same story.
I think we all, and what's funny is the tough guys that never had a friend told them they couldn't make it. They're the ones that quit first.
Yeah, they've never had to deal with that adversity.
No, and no one's going to tell them no. They're used to being privileged or whatever.
Yeah, the guy that replaced me, because I was a search and rescue swimmer at HS6, which was a helicopter squadron in North Island. The guy that replaced me when I left had just quit BUD/S. And he was kind of that, he was this big,
you can't make it,
guy, 1,000 push-ups. And he's like, oh, good luck, and he's like, yeah, I kept watching the helicopters fly by, as I was running down the beach, and I just realized how good I had it here. And I was like, and everyone's looking at me like, oh, see you in a couple of weeks, back at the
Isn't
command.
it amazing how few quitters you meet that admit they quit?
And then this is like me losing all my shit and building up a business. When you make it through SEAL training, everyone's like, oh, I always knew you would make it. And everyone wants to be your friend.
Yeah, they want to be your buddy all of a sudden. Yeah.
Everyone wants to know the SEAL.
I met a quitter one time. I did a MARG, a ship deployment. My second deployment at SEAL Team 2, and there was a guy in dungarees. I sat next to him in the chow hall reading, and he goes, hey, I tried BUD/S and 210 or whatever. I was like, really? So you what happened? You didn't make it? He goes, yeah, I quit. And I'm like, you quit? Why'd you quit? And he just goes, I lost my Huya. That's
There you
fair.
go.
You
Yeah.
should admit it.
Yeah, I lost my shit. Which Huya stands for many
Huya's
things.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's just funny. My Twitter handle, Mick Huya, was a joke. Because O'Neill is the Irish Huya, so I made Mick Huya.
Yeah.
And I had like 7 followers, and then my name gets leaked as Bin Laden, and then I have 10,000 followers. I'm like, oh, I guess I get to keep that one.
Yeah, gotta keep that one. What else did I want to ask you? So biggest challenge that the swimming thing, and then you're going to. I know SEAL Team 2. People listening to the show probably don't realize this, but SEAL Team 2 is one of the legacy SEAL
Yes.
teams, one of the original SEAL teams on the East Coast, but a huge legacy in diving as well. So you're not going there getting off easy.
No, SEAL Team 2 was kind of known for the work through lunch, get off hungry. We're going to stay here. And the SEAL Team 2 combat diving was really good because...
Well, my chief in my second platoon, Chris Dye, was on that
Yes.
mission to
It's in Panama.
Panama, to blow up Noriega's
Yeah,
boat.
which is... Yeah, that's
Which I
that's
am-
a great story.
Oh, yeah. I remember. So Chris, before he went to Afghanistan after 9/11, Chris is like, hey, can you help me move? So I'm over there, like me and a couple of guys from the platoon, and we're like digging through this boxes. I'm like, dude, why do you have this like stainless steel wheel? Like, what the fuck is this?
That's
thing?
Noriega's.
He's like, that's Noriega's off Noriega's boat.
Yeah,
I pulled
they-
it off the bottom of the
Yeah,
canal.
they were tasked to go in there and unscrew everything and said, let's put a haversack on the damn thing.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's an amazing story.
But yeah, Team 2 was really good at diving because they have a close relationship with the German comp swimmers. And those guys are just really serious in the cold weather. You know, if it doesn't suck, it's not good type. But yeah, that's the whole kick count, stare at your tack board. And
Yep.
and I remember Team 2 just like doing January dive trips to Newport, Rhode Island, just miserably freezing. But, you know, and obviously you can't start a dive without a 4,000 meter turtleback because why would you? So get up there and fin. Oh, yeah. But yeah, Team 2 was serious about diving. They were serious about everything.
Yeah.
I think that what they said that they were always trying to compete with SEAL Team 1 on the West Coast.
Yeah, no, big rivalry. And I don't know if you ever knew Randy Beaujolais. He was on that mission with Dye. I think he was Dye's LPO.
Cool.
On that, but Randy's a good friend of mine today. So fast forward to the Bin Laden mission, because I'm sure a lot of people are fascinated. I mean, just maybe talk about the complexity and the challenge of that, and then probably never in a million years expected that the thing would be. I mean, you're going into that after probably how many, like almost a decade of going after this guy.
Yeah.
And, like,
Well,
what's
it was
going through your head.
Well, you know that with Bin Laden, he turned into a ghost.
Yeah.
And we would even be interrogating, no kidding, Al Qaeda guys in Iraq or Afghanistan, and we'd be interrogating them on battlefield interrogation, or sorry, we call them tactical questioning now because we don't want to be too violent.
Yeah.
But like in the middle of an interrogation, like
I could give a few people some tactical questioning. Yeah. Few people I know that like to do that.
Yeah, I've gotten a few this week as well. But no, it's funny because like you'd be, okay, how many people in this house? Who's the man of the house? Blah, blah, blah. And in the middle of an interrogation, go, where's Bin Laden? And watch a terrorist laugh. It's like, I don't know. No one. And it turned into, we're never going to find him. But then you get tasked for that mission. And I was at a squadron that we were involved with a lot of high profile missions. And again, it's work ethic, but it's also right place, right time. They just call you because it's your turn in a rotation.
Yep.
And then just to tell us that, hey, this is as close as we've ever been to Osama Bin Laden. And to be in a room with these professionals and just watching the way everyone reacts, like, all right, are we going now? Because we're ready. And then we have to train up for it. But then having the conversations over the model of the compound, how, okay, we're going to, and start to joke like team guys do. We'll joke about whatever, and guys kind of snap out of it and go, okay, you guys realize we're not coming home from this. So let's take it serious. Like, this is a one-way mission, so let's do it right. And then everything that from...
Because they expected that he would have
he's going to blow his
charges
house
in
up.
place. just to
Why
blow
wouldn't he?
everything.
You'd think he would.
Yeah.
And even with
Inshallah, right?
Inshallah. Yeah, because I was the rooftop team in the initial plan that never came to fruition. But the 9 of us or whatever, we were calling ourselves the Martyrs Brigade. Like, we're going to land on the rooftop. The house is going to blow up. We're going to die. But we're going to die killing him. So it's worth it.
Yeah.
And that kind of sinks in. Then you look at your brothers and you realize this is serious. And then even I said goodbye to one of my daughters. I took her to Chick-fil-A. She has no idea what I'm doing. I'm going to die.
How old
this
was she?
week. She was 4.
Yeah.
And just watching her play, can't tell her it's her last meal, and there's a lot that goes with it.
Yeah,
but
it's
it's the focus on the people that went to work in the North Tower on 9/11. That they were supposed to go home and see their kids that night. They didn't. They're not supposed to be in the fight. We're supposed to be in the fight. So it's worth it. And it was a very interesting feeling because there was never fear. It was just focus.
Yeah.
And even when we landed on the compound and in the wrong spot because this one crashed and we're over here, and just walking in, looking to the left, seeing Bin Laden's house, like, I'm not going to live through the night, but this is pretty cool. I'm gonna harness this. That's Bin Laden's house. This is badass.
Yeah. No, I mean, I nowhere near the kind of pressure and situation, but I remember the first time we went to Afghanistan. It's more like not fear, but you're a little anxious.
Isn't that funny too? The first mission you go on after watching the news, you think there's going to be suicide bombers around every corner. We went from Amman, Jordan, into Kandahar and rolled off the C-130 at night into Kandahar, and still you're like, holy shit, like we're in it. And then the first mission, it's almost the realization of what a small world it is. I was home, and now I'm here, and now I'm in Kandahar. Yeah.
And I had, where I was at, my wife at the time was 8.5 months pregnant, and I had my first son when I was in Afghanistan, November 30th, 2001. But you have this, I had the same state of mind where, look, you're thinking about all these people in the towers. It's like, we're over here doing good work. Yeah. And if I have to like give my life for this, like it's worth it. And you just kind of like, you settle it in your head.
Yeah, you make peace with it.
Yeah, you make peace with it, and then you just go on.
Yeah.
And
you know what helped me too was my first mission in Afghanistan was in Jalalabad, and I remember just thinking, because we were going after an Al Qaeda guy, a Saudi. So if he's a foreign fighter, he's not there for anything else. And I remember watching my team leader, just how cool he was, and I stopped being afraid because I'm like, I want to be like him. I need to be cool. And just watching your senior guys do that, and it was obviously nothing really happened. There was no suicide bombers. We actually arrested the guy. And here's another thing that was actually kind of funny. Weird shit happens in combat. So we arrest this big fat Saudi, and he's wearing a T-shirt. I don't think he knew what it said because it's in English, but it said, "It's not a beer belly. It's a gas tank for a sex machine." And I don't know how you.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, you're funny, Al Qaeda.
Yeah, that's funny.
It kind of brings it down to earth, I guess.
Yeah, and you know what? It's like, look, it's why one of the reasons I have a ton of respect for a guy that does one combat mission, even if he's a regular infantry guy in the Army. I mean, it's just about having the courage to get over there and do your job.
That's exactly right.
In a combat zone. And, you and I both deal with the trolls and haters.
Oh, they're everywhere.
It's like, oh, you only did 2 combat deployments.
Is that it?
I'm like, look, man, you know what? But I can sleep at night knowing that
you went over there.
I went over there. I had
You stepped up.
I stepped up, and that's... I
have haters, get a load of this, because I did 16 and a half years. I have haters say, what, you couldn't just do 3.5 more years?
Yeah.
And it's like, only go to war 4 more times? That's all I got to do?
Yeah, the same thing. I left as a chief. I got capped as an E6, made chief my first time up, was in charge of the sniper program on the West Coast, and got out. And it was because I was at the point where I burned out. I wanted to spend more time. More time with my kids.
Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with it. Yeah, anyone that goes over there and actually puts themselves in the arena, and you mentioned the infantry guys too. There are infantry guys in the Army and the Marine Corps that have a much more dangerous job. These guys, you got to figure
way more.
They got to walk through a minefield in the daylight.
Yeah, when you look
into a funnel.
Yeah, when you look at it statistically, the guys in the special operations they have a far more less dangerous job.
We get to fight on our own terms at night, hopefully, and we have night vision and lasers.
I think we did, maybe 20 missions in Afghanistan, no shots fired, because we would go in there and hit them hard before they could even get their guns, and that's what you want, right?
One thing that we learned, yeah. Why do you need collateral damage? One thing that we learned, it was easier instead of landing on the X or the Y and putting a charge on the door. Why don't we land over here, walk in, pick the locks, and wake them up?
Yeah, exactly.
And shots fired is not as cool as a lot of people think it is. Yep. It's fun in airsoft. It's shit for when the bullets are flying this way. That shit gets real fast.
Yeah, I've only been there once, and it's you. Thank God we had air assets.
Well, yeah,
and it gives you an appreciation for air power.
Well, the Air Force too. What's funny about the services is for some reason the Air Force gets the most shit from everybody. But I was in a gunfight on the border of Pakistan where we actually ended up bombing Pakistan for about 3.5 hours. But we were ambushed. And we were in a gunfight for a full hour, a few of us, myself, 2 SEALs, and a couple Army SF guys, and then our Afghanis that are there, which is like bringing your daughter to work type shit. But she's over there painting, I'm helping, Dad. You're fucking helping.
Yeah, behind this rock.
But we had an Air Force guy, an F-15 pilot, show up an hour into it. And he knew there was a lot of intricacies into calling in air support. And we obviously have adrenaline on the ground. So in order to make it simple, the first thing he said when he showed up was, just talk to me like I'm a man.
There you go.
And my first response was, I see why women find you attractive. It's like, and that just kind of cleared the air for lack of a better term.
Hashtag future
That's
female.
Right, yeah. So no, that was cool. But it just, yeah, I mean, just the way stuff worked and the mindset, don't let your mind quit or else you're going to find yourself out of the fight, and that's a bad place to be.
Yeah. All right, so just take us through maybe that final, the final elements of the Bin Laden mission, and we're going to get on to the stuff, because I'm interested in sharing kind of what you're up to today with the charity. And,
great.
the business.
No, well, the Bin Laden raid, again, like I said, we went in with the perfect plan, but we're proven right off the bat the perfect plan never exists. Our plan to go on the rooftop ended up us being in the yard outside. The other guys crashed inside. We got in however we got in, and then we got into the house, and we're in Bin Laden's house. And it's kind of cool because of where we went down, I was able to have a front row seat to one of the coolest missions ever in the history of the country. So I remember looking down, and I'm actually looking up for explosives. They should have the house rigged, and we're all going to die, but they're not. But I'm looking forward. I'm watching my guys work with zero fear, zero concern about their own safety, but they're doing their jobs. They're working their way up in the breaching process. They're slow as smooth as fast. I remember sitting back being so proud of my guys, thinking they are so fucking cool.
Which is, sidebar, when I watched that Zero Dark 30 movie, it was like fingernails on the chalkboard when they were on target and guys were like talking out loud and taunting Bin Laden. It was so unprofessional. It's like you guys are discrediting the guys.
They
that
totally
did
are,
this.
and I don't know who advised in that movie. Maybe it's a Hollywood thing.
Well, the thing is, you could have the best advisors in the world.
Yeah.
If the producer and the director is not going to listen, they're just going to do it
I
their
think
way.
a lot of producers and directors think that fire in the hole sounds cool. I don't need to yell that.
It's a squeeze on the shoulder.
That's it, boom. Do it. Yeah.
It's just like a
nod,
smooth as fast.
a nod. But so we did that, and there was no talking, and we went up the stairs, and I watched the point man take care of Khalid Bin Laden, which is the coolest thing I'd ever seen up until 8.5 seconds later.
Yeah.
But because he was quiet with Khalid, and he talked him out of it. I think Khalid was armed. He eliminated the threat. And then we went up and I was like 8 guys back. So then we get up to the second floor. They peel off to clear those unknown spaces, and there were people there. And then I was behind the number 1 man, the point man, going upstairs. We're looking up the stairs through a curtain. And that's when he started talking. Said, "Hey, we gotta go. They're putting on vests. Come on, man."
Yeah.
And I don't know what was going through his mind because he's one of the best SEALs with whom I've ever served. But I remember thinking, okay, Bin Laden's up there. He's definitely got a vest on.
Yeah.
And I wasn't brave. I was like, I'm tired of thinking about this, man. Let's get it over with. Gave him the squeeze. He went up, pulled the thing, jumped on turned out to be women that he thought they had vests. And just based on the way he went, I turned right. Because he went left, I went right. The grenade didn't go off. The bomb didn't go off. There was Bin Laden 3 feet in front of me, pushing his wife towards me, and it's the whole. You go through the levels of how do we escalate?
Isn't exactly a manly thing to do, by the way. Like shoving.
No,
your
it turns
wife.
out it's not, and it was even to the point where I think I made a more masculine decision. By she might be a bomber, but he's going to die.
Yeah,
I'm not going to shoot her because she might not have a vest.
Yeah,
and so I shot him. He went down, hit him again, and then moved her. And so he's over here, and I remember seeing his 2-year-old son was standing there, and that's another moment of. We're the good guys because Al Qaeda wouldn't give a shit about our kids.
Yeah.
But I saw this 2-year-old kid and I'm like, this poor kid has nothing to do with this, man. So I picked him up and put him next to Amal on the bed, and other SEALs are coming in the room. And that's when I kind of froze. I'm standing there, I'm looking at Bin Laden. I actually listened to him take his last breath. And one of my guys from downstairs that got in a gunfight downstairs initially came up and he goes, "Are you good?" And I said, "Yeah, what do we do now?" And he laughed. He goes, "Well, now we go find the computers. We do this every night."
Yeah.
And I said, "Holy shit, I'm back. You're right." And he goes, "Yeah, you just killed Osama Bin Laden, man. Your life just changed." And they got that sort of right in the movie when they said, "I think I just killed the 3rd floor guy or whatever." But yeah, there was a moment where I'm standing there like, "Oh my God, this is."
Yeah, it's starting to sink in.
I think retiring after 30 years in Coronado is not going to happen.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it happened, and the guys were just perfect, and then we all got out and got on the. We got on the 47 that came in. They were with other squadron members from my command, and we took off. And so the other
That's
guys.
got to put a lot of pressure on you too, man. Even in the SEAL community, had you stayed in too, that probably was weighing.
Yeah, it was a tough one. I mean, initially we thought it was great because I'm like, man, we're going to be the 23 best friends forever.
Yeah.
We just did this. And even when we got on the 47 to take off, a guy next to me from a different squadron who's from Manhattan, he asked what every SEAL asks. He goes, "Hey, who got him?" And I said, "I did." And he said, "On behalf of my family, thank you." And it's like,
Yeah.
holy shit, this is a big deal.
Yeah,
then I'm laying on top of the sniper from the initiated the fire for Captain Phillips. And I'd been giving him Copenhagen for a year and a half because he dealt with a lot of that bullshit too.
Yeah. Yep.
The jealousy. And I always tell him, take a dip and you're a hero. He handed me his Copenhagen and said, take one of my dips. Now you know what it's like.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, this is bigger than us. But, you know, we got back and, yeah, we all talked. We had a debrief and then went to Virginia Beach. And then by the time we got to Virginia Beach, 17 hours or whatever, my name had leaked in the community. And that's just a problem because, yes, people are saying what happened, but then they're like, why is this guy looking for recognition? It was the team, which is it was the team. Of course, it was the team. It was more the pilots than us.
Yeah.
Like the pilots got us there. The intel got us there. We went in with hammers and we big tough frogmen it upstairs. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something that a lot of guys don't understand. Maybe now that they're out, when you're in that environment and you're closed off from the rest of the world, it's easy to pass judgment. But when you're outside, you know, and then the president is talking as well.
Yeah.
And kind of like showcasing, you know, the SEAL community to the rest of the world. It's hard to keep that stuff quiet in the
it was the toothpaste was out of the tube immediately.
Yeah. I mean, you can barely ride an airplane, as we talked about earlier, without without
somebody
snapping photos.
Hey, people notice if you're there.
Okay, so like, talk to me about the decision to get out now. You're a few years away from retirement.
A couple years away, and I'd talked to the command master chief at the command. And I was uncertain if I wanted to go back, and he said, "Well, we can find a spot for you, you know." And it was attractive to go to San Diego and be a buzz instructor, or to go to Arizona and be a free fall instructor. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
So I'm dealing with this from May 3rd up until August 6th. And people always ask me, you know, what regrets do you have in life? And my one regret is I went to Rob Reeves' house right before he deployed with Gold Squadron.
Yeah.
And he said, "Do you want a glass of wine?" And I was like, for some reason, I don't know why, I wasn't drinking that day. And I'm like, "No, I'm good." And he poured himself a glass of wine, and we sat there, and he said, "You know, one of these days, a lot of us are going to die on one of those helicopters."
Yeah.
And then obviously Extortion 17. They all died. I talked to Rob, and as opposed to going from the highest moment in our community to the lowest, we went from planning combat to celebrating to planning funerals.
Yeah.
And I thought about my kids. I'm like, I got to see them get married. I've done enough. Because, you know, we were involved with Luttrell, the Lone Survivor Rescue. We were involved with Captain Phillips, killed Bin Laden on the base when Bowe Bergdahl walked off. Extortion 17, it's like, the Navy, the community especially, owes me nothing, but I don't think I owe them anything. And all I want to do is, I went in through the front door. I want to leave through the front door. I got to leave. And I just because of the way we lost an entire troop, we needed to spread out some of the stuff, and there was stuff going on in my squadron. So I said, one of my former master chiefs was the master chief of a different squadron. He said, "I'll bring you over if you want to just get out of town," which means want to go back to war. Fuck it, let's go. So I went over with another squadron, deployed, and then I had my up until August of 2012, and it was a hard decision. I mean, leaving that community, what it takes to get into it.
Yeah.
But leaving, it was just, yes, it's time. And so I did that, and I got out, and that's when the new adventure started. What now? What next?
Yeah. And just to describe to the audience, like they probably don't realize, like, once you're kind of out, even, I mean, whether it's DEVRGU or it's SEAL team, once you're gone, it's like things change, right? Like guys you thought were your friends. It's like you're out of the clubhouse.
You're out of the clubhouse. And in order to stay positive, the way that it was described to me that I use now is the SEAL teams are a freight train moving 110 miles an hour, and you're welcome to stay on. But once you get off,
gone.
It's not stopping for you.
Yeah,
and that's what it is. And again, we're dealing with complete alpha males.
Yeah.
So it's just.
So let us bring everyone up to speed on what you're up to today, because I know you do I thought I did a few speaking.
Yeah,
you put me to shame.
I
on the road.
Well, I had an incident on the plane Sunday night.
Yeah.
The next day, I flew American Airlines again. Gave a speech in Dallas. Got back on American Airlines. Flew to San Antonio. Gave a speech in San Antonio. Got back on the plane. Flew to Grand Island,
if you can't
Nebraska.
Have a few drinks and get on the plane.
Well, I mean, I wasn't flying the damn thing.
Yeah.
But hey, they're very respectful and patient with me, and I'm very cool with whatever.
Good.
But I've already given 3 this week.
Yeah.
And I think I have 20 in February.
Jesus.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's fun though, but that's it's good though, because what I'm able to do is take. I don't tell the Bin Laden story. I get out there and I talk about different missions, but most importantly, what we learn from these missions and how it's applicable to normal life.
Yeah.
And like the first key to everything is I have yet to see any group work, any person work by themselves. There's a team. So people skills, be good to each other. Your team's going to work harder. And this decision making that we had, problem solving, stress management, and the never quit attitude. And I go around and I tell a few funny stories and a couple jokes, and that's kind of what I do now mainly. That was going to be a side job.
I will give you this feedback, which is positive. I'm in YPO.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'm flying. I'm a pilot, and we have this like pilots group in there. And I went to lunch with one of my YPO buddies. He flew in his plane. I flew in mine.
Very cool.
And he's like, man, he was comparing you to a few other SEAL speakers, and he's like Rob was solid, man. Like, and he was just like super personable. Came up to like engage with us and stuff. So, it was great. Comparing you, it's like extreme, like night and day compared to the rest
that's
of the
nice.
speakers,
That's good to hear. And I love YPO. They asked me if I could do a gig. I'm not going to say when, but soon in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Like, can we hire for 2 gigs in Hawaii? I'm like, well,
it's a great group.
Oh, they're wonderful. I love them. Yeah. Now, I've spoken with them a few times. They're really, really good. I like them too, though, because a lot of the YPO stuff, they're young guys that are successful. And it's like, well, why are you successful? And everything kind of comes back to the same mindset.
Yeah, it's like when you break it down, you realize the fundamentals are all the same, right?
There. And it's the move forward attitude.
And some of the stuff I had to relearn. I mean, I lost my first business, and going from like adversity and having a couple big wins and being a SEAL, and then you're like, oh, I can conquer the world. And then you get your teeth kicked in.
There's nothing like that. Humility is a big one, too.
Yeah.
Stay humble.
Yeah,
Don't get too big for your britches, because karma is a motherfucker.
Yep, exactly. and so what inspired the charity? I mean,
my foundation is Your Grateful Nation. What sort of inspired it was my own experience of getting out and not having a pension, wondering what to do next. And it's kind of scary. And I remember thinking, well, maybe I could just go back to combat, because that makes sense. I don't know about this resume stuff.
Yeah.
But once I got out, I realized there are certain things that people want to hear, want to know about, want to hire for. And so now Your Grateful Nation finds these companies that really, because they want someone with experience, real world experience, that knows how to handle stress, knows how to take a wrap up,
manage and lead
and communicate, effectively communicate.
Yeah.
And so we do that now. And Your Grateful Nation started off as a let's help the veterans get jobs, but now it's let's help your company get better, because we bring in SEALs, Rangers, TF-160th pilots, people
nice.
that and all they want to do is they want to teach them, mentor them for 6 to 9 months. They hire them, and they have them managing major projects, high level, high quality, high performance teams, and these guys are managing them. So we do that. And the best email I get every week is, we hired so-and-so, and now he does this, and his family is taken care of, and it's just, so Your Grateful Nation does a lot of good stuff. And we just hired former Green Beret Colonel Rob Corella. He's running it now, which is nice, because at first I thought I could run everything. It's like, let's get a colonel in here that's like done major realignment and stuff. But so it's going well.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's one of the things I love about this country is, and again, comes down to leadership. Like, you can sit there and complain about something, or you can do something about it.
Do something about it,
Yeah.
Complain all you want.
I got asked to join the SBA, the Small Business Association board, as a veteran advisor. So I'm in that. I said yes. They still have to decide who they're going to take, but I said yes, because I'm like, you know what? There's so many veterans out there in transition, or maybe they have transitioned, and they have so much to offer the workforce. And I see the SBA as one of the most underutilized programs in America. I mean, it's like literally, if you can go out, there's thousands and thousands of existing cash flowing businesses that you can borrow money from the SBA and buy a cash flowing business. Why these, I hear these people complain, it's like, how come that guy from India owns freaking 4 7-Elevens? Because he did the work and applied for a small business administration loan.
And he got it,
And he got it. And now he's like living the American dream.
Yeah, he's capitalism, the American dream, exactly.
Yeah, so my mission behind that is just to kind of educate more veterans.
That's good.
On what's available. So I just finished a book called Mastering Fear. It comes out in August, but I wanted to ask you, like, what is your... And the thing is, everybody lives with fear daily.
They should. Yeah.
And, like, what's one of your biggest fears that you've overcome and kind of dealt with?
Well,
obviously,
I mean,
public speaking being a big fear, but
that was a funny one too,
Yeah.
because a lot of people are afraid of speaking publicly. And my first speech that I gave, I had no public speaking experience whatsoever.
But did you go through instructor training school?
I did, yeah. I did.
Okay, which
I
I
did.
think was a big...
It's good, yeah. The master
probably
training
the best
specialist. Yeah.
media training you can get.
Well,
is
it's
that-
good too. And there's a couple guys out there teaching. Dr. Fow, he's a big guy. And there's an damn it, I forget his name. Brain fart, but yeah, teaching little keys on how. Like, don't ever try to memorize your talk, and certainly don't read to people. Just have stuff in there that makes you think of something. And if you forget what you're talking about, just talk about something you know.
Yeah.
And you know better than the audience does. That's kind of how it works. But yeah, my first one was in front of 4,000 airline captains. And that's a big crowd of experienced guys. And I remember walking out there on stage thinking, well, I'm either going to pass out or I'm going to do well. And, what's funny was one of the guys, because they're all a lot of military pilots, there was a Marine in there that heckled me right off the bat, and that hit me like that. They're friendly. This is good.
Mm-hmm.
I deserve that. What I tell people now is that, like, there's nothing wrong with being afraid.
Which is great about the military.
Oh, yeah, totally.
It doesn't care who you are. You could have, like, been... It's like Scott Kelly here.
Yeah.
Has, like, how many hundreds of hours flying the space shuttle.
like
and we're
solo.
still flipping each other's shit in the studio.
Yeah, but I mean, what's important for people to know that fear is natural, and you're not going to get
Yeah.
rid of it. Fear is okay because fear will make you think more clearly, but you got to be careful of that fine line because panic is what's going to get you.
Yeah.
Panic is contagious. Just take that deep breath and realize time's moving a little bit slower than you think it is. Don't let panic take over because you're going to, and it's contagious. Other people will panic if they see you panicking.
Yeah.
Prime example, the Bin Laden raid. The famous picture with Hillary with her hand over her mouth and President Obama sitting in the folding chair and General Webb is doing whatever. That's only because they saw the helicopter crash. They didn't see anything else.
Yeah.
And Admiral McCraven hit them up, and he didn't know what the hell was going on. All he said was, okay, look, there's obviously been a contingency, but my men are prepared.
Yeah.
He didn't know, but he's like, well, I realize the White House freaking out's not really going to help anything.
Yeah.
That's
Let's get it back
just
together.
managing
Leadership.
the panic. Leadership, managing the panic, yeah.
Yeah, and I think, something I try and tell my own kids is develop a habit of confronting your fear. And when you develop that habit of, like, you know what, I really don't want to do this, or something's holding me back, to push through that. And when you develop a habit of it, it's a powerful life.
It is.
life
It's
skill.
very, yeah. It's a very powerful.
My son's a sophomore, and he's big into speech and debate. And he invited me to judge this debate tournament, and I got to sit on two of his debates. He did a public policy forum debate, and he did the program called Oratory. So he's 15 years old, goes into a room, and I'm just kind of a fly on the wall in the back. And the judge hands him a sheet of paper. They have 3 topics to pick from. And I think they have 30 seconds to prepare.
30 seconds.
30 seconds to prepare a 10-minute speech off the cuff.
That's awesome.
As a 15-year-old.
That's awesome.
And his was safety, the difference between safety and security. And he started in on this, like, TSA story. He went to Vegas with his grandfather and got shaken down with the TSA. And I was, like, completely floored at
That's impressive.
how my son, I was just incredibly proud of, like, gave this amazing speech. And not just him, I judged probably, at least
How do you prepare in
a
30
couple
seconds?
dozen. I mean, it's just, these kids are so smart. And I was like, as a 15-year-old, like, I would be scared to death
Oh, yeah.
giving some
No.
speech. But I was super proud of him. And like, speech and debate is his football or basketball. But it was pretty impressive to watch.
Those are good skills to have.
That's all I could think of the whole tournament. It was like, these kids they don't realize
They're preparing
how
themselves. Yeah.
prepared they are for life. Because to get up in front of a crowd and, like, debate topics and speak off the cuff
Certainly,
and be comfortable
yeah.
in front
Oh,
of
yeah.
an audience,
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's
That's big.
big life skills.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it was super cool.
Yeah, I didn't get much of that in the Navy. I did get a couple of those classes where they said make sure your medals match your belt and your watch, and then don't wear Corfram with your suit or whatever.
Gig line,
gig
Irish
line.
pennants.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up, I always ask our guests, like, any words of wisdom to share with the audience. If you had to pick one or two things to kind of pass on.
Especially with recent events, you will fall. Get up. Don't be a victim. Be honest with yourself. When you fail, which you will, look yourself in the mirror and just own it. What did I learn? Guilt is not going to help. How do we fix this, and how do we help our team fix it? That's honesty is a big one. But just, I mean, don't play the victim.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Mm-hmm.
And I would also say, people listening out there, if you're going to a negative place, it's not going to do you or anyone else any good.
Oh, it's not helping.
Yeah.
Yeah, something I did this week. Believe it or not, 2 of the best days, the most positive days that I've had have been Monday and Tuesday because I stopped checking social media. That's a relief, man.
Yeah.
I'm back on it today, so I might be a little pissed off.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, thank you
Brandon,
so much.
Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Brother.
Awesome. Always good. Always good.